Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to discuss our latest trades, and we're going to finalize everything today. Okay, now, as we did last week. Now, we put up our latest trades a day ago or 2 days ago, and I thought that's how I wanted to do it. But I've changed my mind, okay? I've got some big adjustments, okay? And you got to freak out because some big names are going to leave the club this week. Just calm down. Now, on Tuesday's video, okay, our brainstorm, okay, we had a couple of changes. We were always going to trade out Short, okay? So Short was going to go, and Peyton was moving to defence. Then we brought in the boy from Geelong that loves to kick off his shins. Okay, we brought in Bailey Smith because we want to watch him kick the ball with his shins and kneecaps every week now. So I'm very excited about this. So Bailey Smith came in. So we completed one trade, and then with our second trade, what we did was we removed Armstrong. Okay, because he's a not good. Okay, he's scoring out negatives. He's going to lose cash. So he's going to become $0 soon. So we removed Armstrong. Okay, now he left. Then we pushed the horny man into the forward line. We brought in a rookie who we think is going to be an absolute jet. Okay, now job security-wise, we're not 100% sure, but we know that he's going to make a bit of cash for us. So, and at the moment, we need some cash. So Marias we brought in, and then we traded out the weapon. Okay, Ed Richards, because he had the usually the weapons that fire these missiles, ballistic missiles. Well, the weapon was firing Spud missiles for the whole season so far. It's only Spud missiles, and he came out with water pistols. So we had to remove Ed Richards. So he left. Then we brought him from the Brisbane Lions. We made a strong argument case for him and brought in Lockie Neal. Okay, so these were the trades that we did on Tuesday. Right, and just to show you, okay, that was our trades. However, things have changed now. I have a new brainstorm. Now, one trade is going to be the same, all right? So it's going to be the Short to Peyton trade, or I will Short out and Peyton moves to his spot, and then we're going to bring in Bailey Smith, okay? So that trade hasn't changed, okay? We've got the same thing happening here. So let's lock that one trade in. That's guaranteed. So complete the trade. And that's now done. Now, on Wednesday, or even on Tuesday, it was just after I did my team reveal, there was, in the Herald Sun or Coach Sports, we had Tim Mitchell and Al Payton put up a little, they put up an article, okay? Now, in the article, it showed position changes, and we had Chad Warner here. It says here, 39.7% forward time. That got me excited. Okay, so Chad Warner, 39.7%. Showed Dylan Shield, but I'm not really interested in Dylan Shield, so forget about that. Showed Cheezels, looks like he's going to get mid-time as well, so there's going to be defensive mid, but that didn't make a difference, okay? So that's another one. We looked at Rowell Marshall. He was 24%, so he's going to be stuck as a ruckman from the looks of it. Then we saw Christian Petrarca, 36.8%. And then my brain started thinking again. The brainstorms happened again. So we decided now, okay, well, even we got Levi Ashcroft, but we're not going to have Levi Ashcroft, but Will Ashcroft, 29.9%. So he may even get forward eligibility. So questions start coming now. Who's the better forward? Which one do we want in our forward line? Our end team forward line is going to look different to what we originally thought. Maybe the horny man is not going to be top 6. Okay, so let's have a look at our forward line. Now, let's put horny man over here, all right, where Stone is, just for now, and put Smith in the forward line. So now we got Rankin, Horny, McRae, Caleb Daniel, and Smith. Okay, now, I think Rankin, well, I more than think, I know Rankin, McRae, and Daniel are untouchables, okay, the three of them. The horny man is owned by 54% of the community. Bailey Smith is owned by 60% or whatever it is. Okay, it's a big number, and he's very cheap, $389K. Good value for Bailey Smith. for a player that can't kick. But if I don't have the horny man here, who do I have? I've got Warner that can come here. And where Davidson is, I can have Petrarca, Will Ashcroft, possibly even Took Miller. Okay, there are so many options. If we go back over here, what is Took Miller? Do we have Took Miller here? We can actually type these things in. Okay, now we've even got Will Day. How much is Will Day going at? So let's have a look at Will Day. Will Day's 13, so forget about Will Day. All right. Zach Merritt, what's he doing? Zach Merritt's at 30%. We could even get Zach Merritt as a forward. That's insane. We need Zach Merritt to play forward 2 games, but that's not going to happen because they've got an injury at Essendon. They've got a few injuries in their midfield, so he'll probably go back in the midfield, so that's not going to happen. Sam Walsh, what's he? He's at 15%, so forget about him. I wanted to know about Saliga, but he's 26%, so maybe he won't get it. But Took Miller might get it as well, and Took Miller's at about 25%, because I looked it up. I can't see him here, but he's about 25%, and even at 25%, if he gets 2 more games playing forward, he's going to be forward eligible. So this actually tells me now that the horny man is not going to finish top 6, okay? And he's still got value. He's got 496k of value on him. I have lost 30k. It doesn't matter, okay? I'm happy to take a loss, but he's not going to do it, okay? So there's no point having him and copying a bigger loss because his break even is 151, and he's not getting it against St Kilda. The chances are they're going to tag him this week, and he's going to go probably lose another 50k, and that's massive. So for me, the horny man is out. Now let's move Connor Stone into that forward line. Okay, now what happens here is our balance, our team structure is not as good as it was before because we need a forward. Because now we've got 2 rookies on field, and one of them is Stone. We don't have a decent rookie. We've got Davidson, who we're happy with, but not Stone. So when it's best 22 next week, Stone's not going to really cut the mustard, okay? He's going to probably score a 50 or a 46 like he did last week and probably be our weakest link. But that doesn't matter because he's going to come off the ground anyway. His score won't count, so it's still okay, but preferably our first upgrade has to be a forward, okay? So we have to get Stone out of here as quick as possible. So for our forward line, all right, we can get these 270k rookies, okay? But I don't want them, okay? We're just going to get the guns on rookies. I'm not going to have any of these mid prices no more. So if we go to the rookies, we've got Moraes. Okay, I'll lock him in. Okay, so the horny man's out, Moraes is in, but now we've got some cash. Okay, let's complete this trade. This now means that we're stuck with Armstrong. Okay, now we're stuck with him, but the good thing about Armstrong is at least he's playing. Okay, so he just needs he just needs to kick 7 goals in one game. That's all. Nothing big. Okay, just a 7-goal game, and his price goes nuts. But I don't think that's going to happen, so it's just going to be a slow boom. We're going to get rid of him as soon as we find another replacement for him. So the player that we're going to get rid of possibly now is going to be Camporeale, okay, because he's not playing. He's not even in emergencies no more, so it's just a waste there. We've got Hanley. I think job security is solid. Okay, hopefully he gets named this week. Henderson probably not as solid, okay, with job security. We're going to find out if his job security is good because they've got a few players coming back into the team now. So hopefully Henderson holds that spot. But if he doesn't, I'll probably keep Camporeale and trade out Henderson. But just for now, we're going to trade out Camporeale. Now, we had ideas of bringing in Lachie Neale last week, and my arguments for and against were pretty strong, okay, because I liked the fact that it's now or never with Lachie Neale because of all the tags going to come his way, so I might as well enjoy the best of Lachie Neale now with Richmond, Dogs, Collingwood, then a tag, then another 3 good games in Gold Coast, North and Melbourne, okay, so I was going to enjoy Lachie Neale's ride until the bye rounds, and he's going to get smashed. However, I've now decided I don't want Lachie Neale, okay? I'm going to grab him possibly in round 17, the Port Adelaide game, okay, and have him for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks from round 17 onwards, and have him, if his price drops with all the smashing he's going to cop with all these tags, if his price drops about 450k, I'll just pay 450k for him and grab him as a cheap alternative bench player, which I can loop with eventually. So it won't be the worst thing that's going to happen, okay? So I might as well get him later on, Okay, there's no rush for him now because there's another player that I like. Okay, and that's going to be the weapon from last year. Okay, now I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Okay, that's Matt Rowell. Let's just put him there for now. Let's talk about him in a minute. Now, by having Rowell, we're able to put him in the midfield because you've got to keep in mind also, now we've lost Lindsay, our structure still got ruined, okay, with Lindsay out for 2 weeks. So having Stone here doesn't really matter now because we actually lost Lindsay as well. So when Lindsay comes back into this midfield, we'll have time to bring in a replacement for Stone anyway. So it's the same thing. And probably Stone's probably going to be scoring better than the other two rookies in Henderson and Hanley. So having Stone is actually not the worst idea right now. So that's why we're going to keep Stone. With Rowell, let me tell you something about Rowell, okay? And this is, I just found this out yesterday. Now, there was an article written about Rowell, okay, by Josh Gabelich. Okay, now he says here Rowell has contract talk. So he's in a contract year. So he's playing for a big contract. That's number one. Okay. Number two, he's hired a personal fitness manager. Okay, a running manager, whatever they call, a sprinting manager, someone that can teach him how to run. He's hired one with his own cash. He's a complete professional. He doesn't even eat the grass anymore. Now he's having spinach. Okay, now spinach and a new manager. Contract year, he's slimmed down. You can see here, he's slimmed down. He's not the same chubby Matt Rowell. I noticed him running on the weekend, and he was running different. And let me show you some stats that back this up. Now, I want to show you his opponent last week. Uncontested possessions, 15. Contested positions, 15. You may argue it was only West Coast. Okay, well, let's have a look at West Coast last year. What happened? Against West Coast, let's have a look. It's over here. West Coast last year, he had 21 contested possessions, okay, and he had 8 uncontested possessions. Well, this time he's had 15 uncontested possessions. The uncontested possessions means he's running around like a Lockie Neal and getting these cheap touches. We love cheap touches as well as the contested stuff. So he's getting his contested stuff. Now he's added the uncontested stuff to his game. We have a look at the Melbourne game, okay, against Melbourne. Last year, he had 19 contested, 17 uncontested against Melbourne. And this was pretty much late in the year. Well, last year he had 11 contested and 5 uncontested. Look at the difference. And this is the same Melbourne team. 11 contested, 5 uncontested, compared to 19 and 17. He's a different player now. He's gone to new heights. I know there's an argument you can say he does this every year, okay? Because you can look at last year. He started like a house on fire, okay? 26 contested. But the uncontesteds weren't there last year. Have a look, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9. His contested work was there last year, all right? At the start of the year, not the uncontested. Look at his uncontested this year, 15 and 17. Last year, it actually got better towards the middle part, okay? But it's sort of, his contested dropped off. So it didn't balance out. If his contested stays the same and his uncontested gets even stronger, as you can see here, it got stronger in the back end, this could be unbelievable, okay? So sometimes you just can't wait, all right? What am I waiting for? What do I want to see? Do I want to see another week where he goes nuts again? Or what's going to happen if I see another week of a 130? Is that going to change my mind, okay? I've seen the stats, okay? Stats don't lie, okay? Where is it? That's for your fellow. I was looking at other stuff as well. So over here, I've seen the stats, uncontested. I have to grab him, okay? Because I loved him last year until he went poo-poos. But I think this year, he's going to go nuts. And I had no idea about this coach that he hired to get his sprinting work in better shape. So he's in best shape of his life right now. And forget about Rowell, okay? I was trading out Ed Richards. I was going to trade out Ed Richards and keep the horny man. I might as well keep Ed Richards now. What has Ed Richards done that's been really bad besides last week's poor performance? If you look at Ed Richards, the previous 2 weeks, it's not like he was really bad, okay? Now, he scored, what did he score? Okay, let's have a look at his scores. He scored the 119 against North Melbourne, okay? And that game, he butchered it. He scored a 105 against Collingwood. He missed 2 goals, okay? This could have been a 130, okay? So, but it was a 105. Doesn't matter. Against Carlton, he scored a 76 and he was tagged. Okay, now take out the tag role. He's not going to get tagged. Plus, he butchered it. Okay, he went at like 50%. And that's his floor, 76. I see other players get tagged and they score 64s. Okay, so 76 and tagged is better than Oliver scoring 80 and not tagged. So at the end of the day, Richard's probably still half decent. Okay, so, and I named the weapon for a reason. Even though he's a weapon with his water pistol. Okay, I need another weapon here with a machine gun just coming down. So now I've got Matt Rowell with the machine gun, Ed Richards with his water pistol, and I got Nank the Tank with his tank. I've got the 3 weapons now, and I think I'm happy now. Now with Ed Richards, my main concern was this round 6 and round 7 game, the St Kilda game and the GWS game. However, there are some new reports now on Twitter, which make me very happy. So we've got here on Twitter, Tom Morris saying that Bont participated in full groundwork, but it should be then ran laps this morning. Round 6 versus St Kilda is the realistic target for his return. Now, St Kilda will now tag the Bont, is how I see it. But then you got GWS. Who are they going to tag? Well, last year, even the previous year, okay, GWS, if you can go over here, they tagged the Bont. Bont is their target, so they've actually tagged Bont twice, once in 2023, once in 2024. So that means that Ed Richards possibly won't get tagged both these games now, so he has a free run, so I'm happy to hold on to him now. Just come down! Now, just as I finished the video, we've got a string of reports coming through. Let me share them all with you now. Okay, now the first one is from Tom King. It says here, Geelong, Chris Scott selection notes, Stewart and Manor will play. That's not a big deal, okay? Shannon Neal also good to go. We don't care about that. Jack Henry is fine. We don't care about that. Mitch Nevitz, plantar fascia to miss. Just come on down. Where did this come from? So now we're going to lose Mitch Nevitz. Well, good news for Gorn owners also that Reece Stanley not this week, so you're going to get a bit more of SDK versus Gorn this week, so you could go nuts. But the main one is this one, Mitch Nevitz, plantar fascia. But there's more news. Lachlan McCurdy tweeted out, Dean Cox confirms Tom Papley is expected to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, with scans confirming a cracked heel. So now Hanley job security has become even stronger. So now we're going to definitely hold Hanley with the news about Tom Papley. But there's even more news, but this one doesn't affect us. Now the GOAT Fantasy tweeted out, after around 30 to 40 minutes, Tristan Sherry has left the track, okay, participated in a bit of ruck craft, did a short kicking drill, and spoke to the medical staff and Damien Monkhurst. And we know about last Sunday's hamstring awareness. However, there was more reports. Then Tom Morris reported that Clarko on Sherry, we are picking him. Okay, but doesn't mean that he's going to play. It just means they're going to pick him. What does that mean, picking him? What does that mean now? So we saw what picking him meant with Tom Stewart last week. So, well, anyway, Clarko's going to pick Sherry, is what he said. But he didn't say we are playing him. So the words are very important in Supercoach, as we all know. So now the trades have changed. Okay, now we're going to undo a trade here. Okay, and we're going to now keep Camporeale for another week. Okay, now we keep Camporeale, and now we're going to trade out Nevitz. And we're going to complete this trade. And we have a problem, okay? Now, we don't have any players left to play for us. So now we're going to put Camporeale on the bench. We're going to put Hanley on field. The chances are that Hanley and Stone, luckily it's best 18. These two are not going to score that well, so they're going to be our bench loops. But well, in best 18 anyway, but keep in mind, the following week, best 22, what are we going to do? Okay, we're stuffed. Okay, that's what's just coming down. We've got problems. So, the following week, what I'm thinking, we're going to have now 73k cash left over. Let's hope Henderson makes a bit of coin. Okay, let's hope that if Henderson makes some coin, the following week we're going to trade out. Let's hope he plays first and then make some coin. Okay, so if he makes, let's say, 30k or even 40k, even better, we can trade out Henderson. We can trade out Camporeale, and then the following week we're going to bring in Travaglia and Tasatsis. They'll both come in. Okay, so that's the plan for next week now. We're going to do no trades. Now we're going to do 2 trades because with the news that Caldwell is out, maybe it's good for Tasatsis, so I have to bring him in. So Tasatsis will come in next week unless Camporeale plays. So we're going to have some plans for next week as well now. Another 2 trades gone next week. I can't believe this. Anyway, that's going to be all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.